In this lecture, we're going to talk about classifying reactions. So the first type of reaction we'll talk about is a synthesis or a combination reaction. And a synthesis reaction is when two or more elements or compounds bond to form one product. And so you can see in the first example, we have iron reacting with oxygen to form iron 3 oxide. In the second example, we have lead reacting with oxygen to form lead 4 oxide. So what you're looking for here is two or more reactants coming together to make one product. That's when you know you have a synthesis reaction. The next type of reaction is a decomposition reaction, and it's basically the opposite of a synthesis reaction. It's when you have one reactant and it splits into two or more simpler products. So in the first one, we have C6H12O6 breaking down to form C2H6O and carbon dioxide. The second one, we have mercury 2 oxide breaking down to form liquid mercury and oxygen gas. So in order to, what you look for in a decomposition reaction is one reactant forming multiple products. And again, it's just basically the opposite of a synthesis reaction. The next type of reaction is a displacement reaction. There's two types of displacement reactions. One is a single displacement reaction, and that's when you have a reacting element switches place with an element in the other reacting compound. So for example, if you have chlorine gas reacting with potassium bromide to make potassium chloride and bromine, you can see here that the chlorine and the bromine basically switch place, and that's a single displacement reaction. A double displacement reaction is when the positive ions in the reacting compound switch places. So basically it's a swap partners. You can see here we have barium chloride reacting with sodium sulfate to make barium sulfate and sodium chloride. So you can see here the chlorine and sulfate ions swap partners. Here the chlorine's partners with barium, and the products is partners with sodium. Here in the reactants, the sulfate's partners with sodium, and in the products, it's partners with barium. So here's just a nice little chart of the type of reaction and the generic equation. So you can kind of use this when you're given a reaction. You can go through, this is how you would classify it. You go through this chart, you see, okay, is it A plus B to make AB? Is it AB making A plus B, so on and so forth. So you should be able to look at a reaction and determine, is it a synthesis reaction, is it single displacement, is it decomposition, so on and so forth.